Hello, hello. Welcome along. We are back in Microsoft Flight Simulator for tonight's flight. We are in a rather gloomy looking Copenhagen. And we're going to be flying back to Edinburgh in the UK. And we have the Fly Tampa Copenhagen Kastrup Airport installed, which is a great scenery, one of the best on the Xbox. Um, well worth the purchase. And we are going to be flying in the fantastic PMDG 737-800 in this stunning KLM Royal Dutch Airlines livery centenary. I've already sort of gone through the first part of the startup procedure, plumbed in the details to the FMC for the flight plan. So we just need to head into the flight deck and get some engines started. So here we are. We'll just quickly go through today's route. See if I can get up the flight plan for you guys. Let's get Navigraph going. Okay, so yeah, here we are over in Copenhagen. Zoom in a bit. So trying to depart runway 04 right today. That's what the live METAR is telling me. But every time you try and fly on the Xbox, it tries to make you depart from a completely different runway. So we'll try 04 right, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, flying out. Let's get the charts open. Now also on my air wrap in the PMDG is out of date. Compared to the the updated version that just happened. I think it was yesterday in Navigraph. So my waypoints seem to be slightly different, but it'll be a pretty much similar route out from 04 right. So heading out on a course of 037 degrees from runway 04 right. On a left course 353 degrees up to Charlie Hotel 841, followed by a left turn 288 degrees up to Charlie Hotel 842, and then we're looking to get out on a 237 degree course out to Doble and then on to Odin. What I might just do actually, I think I will tune in the Odin VOR just as these waypoints are a little bit different, just so we make sure we're heading in the right direction. So what we got on there is 115 decimal 5. 115 decimal 5, so that should tune us into the VOR at Odin. Okay, so we'll have a quick look in plan mode just to check the legs. So if we just step through these, so yeah, 04 right out. Yeah, so as you can see, you look at the charts we've got on screen, we've got some slightly different. One got Charlie Hotel 360 as my first waypoint, and then to Charlie Hotel 371. They're slightly out of date waypoints, but we're still heading out on that same course out towards Doble and then on to Odin. So should all be good. Fingers crossed. You never know your luck. So let's put this back into okay. So where did we get to on the setup? Let's just quickly flip these off as well. off your screen for a second. There we go, so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so in it ref, let's plumb in some weights. Zero fuel weight today is 59.5. I'm just going to pop over to SimBrief and get my reserves. InRes plus alternate. So we've got 2957. So plumb in, we'll go a little bit over with 3 tons on the reserves. We've got a cost index of 80. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Me altitude. So let's go in again here. 80 in the cost index there. And we are flying at flight level 320 today. That looks better. And we can put some winds in as well. 284 degrees, 85 knots. And today our transition altitude, if I just flip back to the chart again, is 5,000. 5,000. Transition. Execute all that. That's all looking good. Onto the N1 limit and our takeoff speed. So I'm not going to change too much. That's fine on there. I think we'll climb out profile. Climb profile 2. I think it's just a bit smoother. I guess if you're on PC, you can use your that sim toolbox thing to calculate all these, but we'll go with that for now. Standard 5-degree flaps for takeoff. Centre of gravity in, that gives us a trim of 4.92, so you know, about 5. So we'll trim that up now. Just wind the wheel round to about 4.92. Basically just stops the nose from getting a bit frisky as we're hitting the V2 heading down the runway. And flaps for takeoff, flaps 5. Okay, so we could put our V speeds in there, and that's giving us a V2 speed of 151, so we'll add 10 to that, to the FMC for takeoff. That gives us 161 in the window. Lovely. 161. And of course, what did I say earlier? 36 degrees. 036. Head in. Gonna pop back to the chart. There isn't actually any constraints coming out on this runway, so we'll put our transition in of 5,000, and then we'll just go straight on up to cruise altitude, flight level 320. It's all good. I've also tuned in the Odin. It was on a 263 recourse. We'll go back the other way. As we're approaching, that should give us a indication that we're heading in the right direction. Tune in, yeah, good. Right, quick check of the METAR here. See what the QNH is. Kastrup is, so winds 320 degrees, 7 knots gusting to 17 knots. That's going to be an interesting takeoff using an Xbox controller. I don't have a yoke or anything, so I shall be fighting it off runway, I think, a little bit. Clouds overcast, 12,000 feet. Got a temperature of 11 degrees, 2.2 degrees, 54% humidity, and the altimeter needs to be set 1014 UNH. But in. Nearly there anyway, 1014. There we are. Bang on. Pop the flight directors on now. going to be LNAV, VNAV, auto throttle. I think we are about ready. Start some engines. So go to the overhead panel, sit the kids down in the back, stop misbehaving, and let's get the APU going. There we go. I might as well set the cabin pressure, flight level 320 today, so that's that set ready. Put the anti-collision lights on as well, just let the ground crew know that the engines are imminent. Have a quick look outside to see if that APU's doing its thing. There we go. It's getting a bit of haze coming off it now. There we go, lovely. What a game. Getting a bit of blue sky for takeoff as well. Hello? You're supposed to be there. Mate. Think you want to be general aviation? How are you going to disembark through there? Watch out for these jet engines. Okay, so APU is available. Lights on, so we can transfer the power over to the APU now. Like that. Just make sure we're getting some current through. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, so down to the FMC. We can disconnect the ground power. Ground services. Release the ground power, and we'll also get rid of the chocks whilst we're here. We're just about ready for pushback. So, go back above. Some fuel pumps on. Now, got some fuel in the centre tanks. Yeah, a little bit. So we'll pop those on as well. All the fuel pumps are on. We'll have to switch them off fairly early on in the flight. They'll get used up quite quickly. And the APU bleed on. Okay. Looking good. Hydraulics are on. Window heats are on. Probes are on. Cool. Right. Let's push back then. We want to do a standard L. Nose to the right, that's good. Doug. Let's get out of here.
Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start. They want the tail to our left. Roger that. Ready for pushback. Tail to the left. Release brake.
Ignition switches to ground. Get engine start 2. Watch the N2 spool up. We want that around about 20-25%. That's the APU pushing the compressed air through the blades, get that spun up, and then we can inject some fuel into there.
Here we go.
Fuel in. Sounds promising. We have engine start. Just wait for that selector switch to automatically switch to off. Then we can transfer the power over to the engine with this switch here. Let's use the left ignition switch for engine 1. Okay, so that's flipped back, so we can transfer power over main engine. Repeat the process for engine 1. Again, waiting for the N2 spool up to around about 20-25%. It's the engine 2 settled nicely now. So we can 17, 18. Get some fuel in engine 1. Good, good. So we're here, we'll do a quick systems check. Make sure everything's and doing what it should. We'll do a full left, back to middle. We'll do a full right, middle, forward, full back. Quick tinkle on the rudders.
Pushback complete. Parking brake, please.
What's the parking brake on? Parking brake on.
Brake set.
Okay, let's get the auto brakes into anti-skid for takeoff. Just the caution, reset that.
Steering pin is pulled. Watch for the salute and release from guidance on your right. Have a good flight.
Okay. We are good. Right, this is the fun part. This is where we try and convince air traffic control to let us depart on 04 right. Right, let's try 121.625. I mean, I like to do this for your full immersion. We'll sometimes when it's getting a bit, when the workload's increased and I'm getting a bit stressed, we'll just automatically let it tune it. But we'll go for the immersion. We'll tune it in ourselves. 121.625. 21625. Have a little chat with them. See if we can get ourselves out on the right runway.
Kastrup ground KLM 1124 with Mike request taxi for takeoff departing straight out.
KLM 1124 taxi 2 and hold short of runway 22 right using taxiway
Yeah.
Yankee Papa Zulu Alpha cross runway 12 Alpha Alpha 1. Contact tower on 118.575 when ready.
118.575. Acknowledge that.
Taxi 2 and hold short runway 22 right using taxiway Yankee Papa Zulu Alpha cross runway 12 Alpha Alpha 1 KLM 1124.
So that's ballsed up my flight plan straight away. That's out the window. So let's depart runway 22 right. As predicted. We'll go, let's see what it gives us. We still go out via, what were we going out? We were going out via the Odin star, weren't we? So what we got? 22 right. We have got an Odin. Let's give that a go. So what I like to do now, see what it puts into there. Continuities, we're all right there. Let's have a quick look in. Obviously my charts are going to be a bit out of whack now, but let's have a little look. Okay. Takeoff speed's deleted, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But let's go back to the init ref. Clear that message. Pop the V speeds back in. They haven't changed. There was still 161 in the window. That should be fine. Okay, I'm going to go with that. Right, so 22 right, not 04 right. Let's go. Engines going. I can break off. Get out of here. Now, what's that chap doing? So, 22 Romeo is slap bang in the middle of the airfield. I'd imagine he's going there as well. I'm going to take a slightly different route to him. So loud. So loud. Left. We'll go this way. Crossing the runway. Clear. Clear. I'm just, why are the windsocks pointing in different directions? I've just seen, probably haven't seen that on your screen, but in a second. That windsock is not pointing the right direction. I believe the other one is, so we're good. He's gone for the rapid. He's getting fines. He is broken all sorts of taxi and speed limits. Already on the runway. Yeah, that the second windsock where he is just there. That's pointing the right way for a takeoff, so we're good. So we're just going to hold short. Let him get out of the way. We'll do our own ATC. He's on a different runway. I don't know where he's gone. Hold short here. So go. Let's see if we can get some clearance. I thought I'd tune that in. Tune it in now.
Kastrup Tower KLM 1124 ready for straight out departure at runway
Cas.
22 right.
KLM 1124, QNH 29.94, wind tree 15 at 7. Departing straight out approved. Cleared for takeoff.
Lights on.
22 right.
Ah, we didn't put the taxi lights on. My bad. Off. Did I leave the APU on? Very clever, is it? Didn't transfer engine 1 over either. Okay, well, better late than never. We'll put the over and strobes off.
KLM 1124, please acknowledge.
Cleared for takeoff runway 22 right KLM 1124.
Okay, everything's looking good now. Missed a few things there. But we're good now. My heading's also going to be wrong, isn't it? We now want to be 216 on heading. Let's go the other way. Okay. Lovely. And else is okay. Well, he's taking off 04 right. How come I couldn't? Obviously not using ATC. Try and get a nice, see that windsock's right. Try and get a nice line up on the centre line. We're going to do a rolling start. Let's do it. It's not bad. Okay. Ogre. Oh, immersion killer. Get off the runway.
80 knots.
Oh, God. Cheers, mate. Comes that headwind.
V1
Try not to get a tail strike. Oh yeah, that is quite tricky. Okay, gear up. Auto brake off. CMDA engaged.
KLM 1124, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Flaps up. Frequency change.
Tower KLM 1124 frequency change.
118.455. 118.455.
Copenhagen approach KLM 1124 is type Boeing 737 4 miles southwest of Kastrup, 2,800 feet. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
KLM 1124 Copenhagen approach. Squawk 52 tree.
5233 was that? Squawk it. 5233.
KLM 1124 radar contact 5 miles southwest of Kastrup, 3,100 feet. Cleared through the Charlie airspace. Maintain own navigation.
Let's just check. Okay, so once we're through 5,000 feet, let's switch to standard pressure and fire up to our flight level. You can see the VOR's tuned in to ODN. That's the green line. Just
1124, did you hear my last transmission?
I did.
Cleared through the Charlie airspace KLM 1124.
Okay. Here we go. 320. Okay, we are away. Copenhagen. Not the greatest of weather back here, so let's hope it's a bit better in Edinburgh. We've got a flight time of around about 2 hours, I think, so we'll start prepping for the arrival, sort of mid-flight. Pop in our stars and see what we get. So it's leveled out at 5,000, so we need to do alt intervention. Does that work? Let's hold in. Yes, I think. Up we go. So we'll turn off the runway lights. We'll keep the landing lights on till we're through 10,000 feet. Sort of standard procedure. Looks like we're approaching a bit of
KLM
weather.
1124 contact Copenhagen Center on 119er decimal 43. Good day.
119er decimal 43.
119er decimal for tree KLM 1124. Copenhagen Center KLM 1124 8,800 feet.
KLM 1124 Copenhagen Center QNH
We can now go to standard pressure. I should have done that through 5,000 feet. Getting fined for that. And we're just about to pass through 10,000. So landing lights off. Let the kids mill about. All good. Good. I didn't put the packs on either. School boy. There'll be people shouting at the screen right now. That would have been embarrassing when we got pressurised a bit. Should really be working to a checklist, but I'm not, so seat of the pants stuff. It's all good. Yeah, it's nice. The clouds in this game are absolutely incredible. Right camera angle that. Engine and wing. Lovely. Look at this. How is this even possible? Just do not understand. So good. Okay, we've got a master warning. Fuel, that'll be because the centre tanks are emptied, so we'll pop those pumps off. Quick check. Yep. All good. Looks like we've got a bit of a slight imbalance on the fuel as well. I might try and level up, like those two up in the flight a bit. We're about, that's burned on the left tank, it's got 3.87, the right tank 3.9, so we just need to level that up a bit if we can, but perhaps do that shortly. Gorgeous views of Denmark. Absolutely gorgeous. So what I can do actually is show you. So we're about over Doble now. If I go to my sim brief map, show you where we are. Pop that on for you. So we've flown out. That's a slightly different route. We came 2-2 right, so we've come this way over Roskilde. We're just approaching Doble now. So from there, we'll pick up the same route as we'd planned for originally. Top a climb out to Odin. All the way over Denmark, then into the North Sea, over the North Sea, back to Blighty, and we come in just over Newcastle, Sunderland, that sort of area, hang a right, and then up to Edinburgh. On the flight plan in the plane, we've only gone to as far as Agped so far, so just over Newcastle, just in case anything changes on the runways. At the minute, we're planning for runway 6 in Edinburgh. That's what it's saying. But these things change, so we'll leave that for a little bit. Okay, so we're at 20,000 now. Making our way slowly up to cruise altitude. Perhaps I'll show you how to level up the fuel burn on the tanks then. So the ideal is that both the left and left and right fuel tanks burn same level. So basically, probably when we were starting the engines up on the APU, we were only on the this left aft fuel tank, so it's probably burnt a little bit more whilst we were taxing, things like that. So what we can do is we can level that up. So what we do, up to the cross feed, turn that on. So now the fuel that's in the right hand tank is able to come up and over and into the left. But what we need to do is isolate those two. Double check that the engines haven't done anything crazy. We're getting a master caution on the fuel. That's fine. That was what he said. They're all stable. And now what's happening is, you can see, well, it's done it already basically. So now it's only burning the fuel from the right tank. There we go. We're level now. So that didn't take long. So we turn those back off. Cross feed back off. Now perfect. 3.71. 3.71. Happy days. Happy days. There's the Odin VOR that we're tuned into. I only really did that because, say, the air rack in the plane is out of date to the latest update on SimBrief and Navigraph. So I just wanted to make sure that we were heading in the right direction. Don't want any mistakes live on stream. I don't look like a complete idiot. Although there's probably something glaring right now, because I'm not following my usual checklist. I'm probably missing something right now. Come on, what is there? Good. That's good. Anybody spot anything that's amiss? Is the APU... That APU bleed's still on, isn't it? Hang on a minute. Did I? I did. You didn't see that. Everything's good. That's fine. That's fine. Tell you what we could do. As we're now sort of, you know, approaching cruise, we could actually fancy a little bit of music. Cheeky little chill vibes on in the background. Try and do it without getting a copyright strike. We're using the Stream Safe playlist, so unfortunately I can't monitor on my OBS. I can't monitor the level of the music, so I'm just going to have to go visually. So hopefully it's not ridiculously loud. Maybe we'll come down a little bit on it. I mean, I think that's louder than the plane engine, so let's go down a bit more. I mean, it won't be when I'm outside the aircraft, that's for sure. Time for a little photo opportunity. Look at this. Clean shot. It's not actually an official KLM route. KLM do fly between Copenhagen and Edinburgh, but they do. It's via Amsterdam. But I haven't really got time to do 2 sectors today, so we're going all the way. Okay, so bring the Edinburgh round to the right direction. Be tracking 278 degrees. 78 in detune. You are now through Odin, nearly at 32,000 feet. Nearly. Actually, probably worth just checking the charts again, just to make sure that what's in the FMC marries up. We're yeah. So this is our route in from Agped into Edinburgh. So basically we need to be at flight level 260 at Agped. Let's see what we've got here. Let's go there actually. So next page. It's a little bit out there. So let's pop that in. Shall we go at 260? And that'll just recalibrate all the speeds and the altitudes to get to that. Good. So how are we doing? We're 20 nautical miles to the top of climb. It's not going too bad. Got a bit of a headwind, so it's kind of slow going. But we have got some spectacular clouds. Look at these. What I'm going to do when we reach top of climb, I'm going to go and feed the dog, because she's looking a little bit like she's, you know, when they're giving you the eye, the old shit eye, like, come on, it's time. What you doing? Why are you sitting there talking to nobody? I want my dinner. So we'll go and sort her out in a moment. Just make sure everything's good when we get top of climb. Good. Just have a quick system check. We're on engines. Put it there, so yeah, fuel flow's equal, all pressure good, all temperatures pretty even. We've leveled up on the fuel burn, so I'm happy with that. Good. I'll leave that on. That's quite a nice little. Did I just do that? Reset. Yeah, it's quite a nice little readout, that is. I always have. I don't know why. It's like OCD. I always have to turn down the brightness. I don't know why. On that little center light display. That weird colour. So we are 28 miles from Hilo. So let's have a look at that. Yeah, so we're just come into the edge of Denmark now. And it's North Sea all the way to Edinburgh. So top of climb. Let's get rid of that for now. Come back in a minute with that. Okay, I shall be back in 5 minutes after I've fed the mutt. Okay, so me and the dog are friends again. Quick check in here. How are we doing? So with 337 nautical miles to top of descent. So I've got a little way to go yet. Probably don't need to start planning our arrival just yet. What's it saying on the arrival time? Okay, so I've wound the time back a little bit, so we're not live Zulu time, but it's saying arrival 11:16 Zulu, and we are currently, what's that, 10:07, so a little over an hour and 10 minutes till we arrive in Edinburgh. That's the that's the headwind. I'd expect it normally to be a couple of hours really, but got a 95 knot headwind right in our face, which is slowing us down a touch. But this game just looks, I love the way you can look at every rivet on the plane. Just amazing. Go. The end, you can even see the spinners on the engines. Look at this. Yeah, I can't get enough of that. Fantastic. The PMDG 737 is, I know it's expensive, and a lot of people are like, ugh. But if you want, and they're cheeky as well, I think you should get the other models. But you know, once you've bought one, it should be like a £10 to get the next. You know, because essentially they're all identical. They're just different length fuselage. So I'd plump for the 737-8. You were going to buy one, get the business jet and the cargo variants as well, so you're getting a few planes. But if you're after your sort of study level aircraft where you know you want to learn it, everything works, literally everything works. And when I first started, I've only just really started Microsoft Flight Simulator within the last 6 months or so. I was constantly flying the A320neo, and I know the A320 does a lot of what you have to do in the Boeing is automated anyway in the Airbus. But once I'd got my hands on this, it feels like a toy in comparison. No, we haven't got the luxury of on Xbox. We haven't got the luxury of the Phoenix. Or the fly-by-wire. So if you want something a bit more in depth, then this is the only option really. It's fantastic. Can't recommend it highly enough. Not sponsored, by the way. Wish I was, but no. I just PMDG doing a great job, and I know also everyone's absolutely climbing up the walls to get their whole hand on the EFB, but it is coming allegedly, but I'm not. I'd love it. It'd be great to automate a few of the functions of the. You know, it's basically anything you can do in the FMC. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be kind of like a iPad visual version of that. So it's not going to change anything really. It's just it's nice to have a new toy to play with, isn't it? So when it does come out, I'll be happy. I'll be happy to see it. How are those slow jams sounding? You were a bit more of that. Pump it up a bit. Here we go. I'm always constantly looking around because I'm convinced I've forgotten something glaring, like I'm still on flaps 5, or the auto brakes are on, or the landing gear's down, or there's a million and one things to keep across. The main thing you've got to remember when you're simming in a airliner like this is staying ahead of the aircraft. So I'm constantly thinking, what's my next chore that I've got to deal with, and that is going to be, first off, we're going to plan our arrival into Edinburgh, pick our approach, our star, make sure that we're on the right runway, all that kind of stuff. So we'll do that around about, I don't know, maybe 200 nautical miles. So in about 90 miles, we'll start thinking about that. And then after that, normally around about maybe 100, 150 nautical miles to arrival, this is, I'll start thinking about adding in our descent winds. That's a bit more hands-on on an Xbox, because you can't automatically request the data, because you can't link your Navigraph account into the FMC on the plane. So you have to basically go into SimBrief, pick some random descent wind numbers and sort of plumb them in manually. So that's the first thing I do. Then you've got to obviously tune in the ILS, make sure you're on the right heading, minimums, QNH, all that good stuff. So there's quite a lot of. That's why you have two pilots normally. It's a fairly hefty workload, but you know, they probably look at a simmer going, bloody hell, what are you doing all that for? When you got someone else to help you with that? Like, nope. It's kind of a kind of like, obviously we don't have the VAT sim capability on Xbox, because the system is completely closed to anything that's run outside of the simulator. So that's kind of why I manually plumb in the frequencies and things to talk to ATC. I know it's stupid, you don't need to do it, but it kind of gives that sense of immersion that you would get if you're flying on VATSIM and speaking to real controllers and tuning your frequencies. So I try and keep it as real as we can keep it. Basically, I just like pressing buttons. I think that's the story with every simmer, isn't it? You like to hear a good push button, a nice click, or a soft. I mean, the buttons on the FMC are an absolute joy. Absolute joy. Press that little sound. Oh. Probably bring the heading bug round a bit. Always keep it on track, just in case. You know, in case the autopilot poos itself and we need to take over. So, oh, there was a gust there. We are allowing people to walk around at the minute, but may change. Okay, so we should probably have a look at maybe a touch early, but let's have a look at the charts. Navigraph going into Edinburgh, just make sure we're on the right setup. So yeah, we're so far we're coming in over Newcastle, and we've got in the FMC as far as Agped, I believe. Yep. Nope. Previous page. Yeah, as far as Agped. So yeah, we've plumbed in the flight level to the 260 at Agped. So basically Navigraph is telling us, yeah, we're still good for runway 6. It's like a 4-knot crosswind, 9-knot headwind. So yeah, that's pretty good to arrive via Agped transition. So let's see if we can pop that in now. So arriving at EGPH, coming in on the ILS, runway 06, top one there. Transition via Tala, I believe. So yeah, TLA, and it's the Agped 1E arrival. So go with that for the star. Execute that. Have a look at that. See if there's any discontinuities. There always is. So yeah, so basically, I think, you know, we'll be our own ATC, but we'll route ourselves. There's no point in going. Let's just close some of this down. Let's go over to Edinburgh. Whee! It's running very slow, my MacBook. I'm giving it a lot of work to do. So yeah, after Haven, so it's not, yeah, it doesn't seem worth going to there. So we'll route ourselves from Haven. We'll go straight to Tala, and you do that by see what C106 is there. Just do that. Still got, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. It hasn't got. I thought we'd put the Tala transition in.
KLM 1124 contact Scottish Centre on 119.875. Good day.
That was 119.875, right?
for KLM 1124.
875. Come on, come on, come on. 19875. Speak to them.
Scottish Centre KLM 1124 flight level 320.
KLM 1124 Scottish Centre. Continue as planned.
Yeah. Let's have a quick look at that on the plan mode. Odds. Well, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. It's not quite what I had in mind, but we'll go with it. Perhaps just check a few other altitudes whilst we're at it. So basically, I've still got the, yeah, we've still got them up for you. So on the arrival, flight level 70 for Barton. So we're in there. It's fine. Max 230 knots. That's good. I think we'll go rather. We'll go out 4,000 for that. And we've got basically from Charlie 10. Charlie India 06. We've got 7 miles to drop off about 50 knots and 2,500 feet. So should be alright. Still got 200 nautical mile or 227 nautical miles till top of descent. We don't need to start coming in too much of the arrival data just yet. Just enjoy the views, guys. What view do we want? That's got a bit of the North Sea coming into view there. Switch that off. We'll get rid of the charts for now. I've got a quick dinner update for you. I've just had a look in the fridge. I'm having steak, Parmentier potatoes, tomatoes, mushrooms, rocket, obviously a slathering of mustard, and yeah, that's in my future. That is a terrific camera angle. Oh, I'm a big fan also of the, not many people have this installed, but in the PMDG setup you can obviously choose all your hardware within the aircraft. I absolutely love the eyebrow windows. A bit old school, but especially if you're doing a night flight, it's nice and clear. Do a bit of stargazing. That point proven. there's the. We would have never seen the moon. Look at that. So you can do a bit of stargazing whilst you're trucking along. Yeah, I do. I'm a big fan of the eyebrow windows. They're really cool, and also it brings you a bit more light into the flight deck as well. I can show you how you put them on if you want. I can remember. I believe. So you go back to the menu, PMDG setup. I think it's in aircraft. It's got to be equipment. There is 17 pages of this. Is it? Eyebrow window. So you want to go to page 14 of the optional equipment, and you pop in the eyebrow windows. Look, so we'll switch them off. We'll have a look. See what that look. See if that floats your boat. Ah. It's just all a bit dark, isn't it? All a bit dark. Oh, I prefer to have those on. Just personal preference. Just personal preference. But yeah, I think that adds something to the experience. Especially flying at night. And you can see the stars out of these windows. It's really nice. Score update for all you football fans. Crystal Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Ball draw. Sort of got it on over my shoulder. Not what the dog's watching it, but even she's not really that enthralled by it. How do they do this? It's absolutely mind-boggling. This is live weather. It's not live time, but it's live weather. And it's just incredible. So what's everyone's favourite camera view, guys? I think mine is kind of... I like that. Kind of like the haze coming off the engine as well. That's nice. I think maybe wing and engine, and plenty of scenery, or maybe a bit further back. Maybe that. That's nice. Maybe that one. Okay, cover your ears. Look at this. This is just crazy. You know what's going to happen? I'm just going to spend all my time looking at the clouds and completely miss our approach into Edinburgh, because this is just... wow. And I'll tell you what, I'm just going to go back inside. This runs so well on the Xbox. I'm so impressed, because I know you can spend a lot of money on a gaming rig and get the new 4090 and have everything on ultra settings, but you know, on a budget, I can't afford to do that. So on a budget, the Xbox Series X, this is, so it's not, you know, it's 500 or 600 quid, 500 quid. You can get a very similar experience. Look at it. It's incredible. I'm not using anything special. If you are on Xbox, you have to have a keyboard and a mouse. That's what I'm using for all the shortcuts. You know the camera angles, zipping around the flight deck. When it actually comes to controlling the plane, I'm using just a standard Xbox controller. No yokes, no pedals, nothing. And it's great. It's really good. I like to, you know, what do people actually think about Xbox users? Are, you know, like I said earlier, I'm quite new to this simming, so are like the veteran simmers completely pissed off that it's on Xbox and it shouldn't be? You know, are they a bit snobbish about it, or are they welcoming to, you know, because when the community should be exactly that, a community, everyone's welcome. But I know that's not how it works in life, so it'd be interesting to know what people actually think about simmers getting interested in this wonderful experience, because that's what it is, through an Xbox. I have a Game Pass. I have never bought the game. I just thought, oh, I'm going to give that a go. And do you know what? First and foremost, I'm a Call of Duty, Battlefield, FPS gamer, and I was just sick to the back teeth of those games. They churn out the same shit year after year after year. Excuse me. And I just wanted something different, and I just hopped in this, and I was hooked. It's expensive as well. You know, you can't do it without buying the scenery. The standard scenery at the airports is actually, I'll backtrack a little bit there. That's a little bit harsh. You can have a great experience without having the airport scenery and the different liveries and all that kind of stuff. It's all down to personal preference. In my opinion, having the airport scenery just makes it, and you'll see when we come into Edinburgh, I've bought one of the absolute best sceneries available to man, and it's the Pyrig Devco. They've done a brilliant one for East Midlands as well, which I also own. They are fantastic. When you go inside the terminal, all the signage, the shops, the passengers, it's really good, really good. But yeah, I'm a bit of a sucker for that as well. I like to purchase and they're expensive. They're expensive, but you don't have to do that to get the flight experience. You do need a solid aircraft, and the PMDG is exactly that. It is fantastic. Okay, let's hop back in. Okay, so we've passed a bit of time by chuntering on. We're now 140 nautical miles till we land. I don't know, sorry, till top of the descent. So it's about the time to start thinking about popping some wind data in, all that kind of stuff. So I will put that on screen for you now. What we need is a sim brief flight plan. And you scroll down, 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 down. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And this is only when you're on Xbox, by the way. If you're on PC, you can just when you go to forecast, you can request the descent winds, but we haven't got that luxury, so we are going to do it ourselves. Oh yes, which is we've got a flight level of or a cruise level of 320. So I'm really interested only in these bottom four here. So we've got to pick three. So what we'll do is we'll go flight level 200, and that is this one here. So we'll go 276 degrees at 59 knots for the first one, and then we'll go flight level 150. So put that in 150, 277 degrees at 61 knots, 061. There you go. And we'll also do, so what this is doing is helping the plane calculate more accurately the top of descent, how it's going to descend, and all that good stuff. So flight level, no, sorry, no, done that wrong, haven't I? So 10,000 feet at 275 degrees. You're looking at, what's that say? 076 knots. Wow. Windy. There we go. So we'll pop that. We'll execute that. Pop them in. What we also need to put in is our descent transition altitude. So this is like an American plane, so it's always at 18,000 feet. But we don't want that. So we'll check the charts. And our transition altitude is, can anybody see it? It's 6,000 feet on the chart here. So what you do when on a descent, you probably add I don't know, 500 feet, 1,000 to be sure. So we'll go 6,500 just to be safe as you're coming down. That's all good. We also need the QNH of the arrival at airport. So over back into Navigraph, we click on here, we get the METAR. So yes, coming into Edinburgh, we've got 80 degrees at 10 knots on the wind. Visibility is 4,900 meters. Broken clouds at 500 feet. Conditions misty. It's not going to be that interesting, which is ideal for. Hang on. Well, you never know because I've wound the time back. We'll see. We'll see. It might be okay. Dew point 9 degrees. Oh, sorry, temperature 10 degrees. Dew point 9 degrees. Humidity 9%. So QNH of 1021. So we'll put that might change as we get nearer. We may revisit that, but 1021 on the QNH. Execute that. So that's all good. That's our descent winds inputted. How are we doing on here? So we're still 91 miles from Robum. Staying on the arrival to Edinburgh, still 11:19 Zulu. So where are we now? Still about 40 minutes. 40 minutes till we're down, but that's all good. Just time to plumb in some other settings that we need to do. So the next thing you probably want to start looking at, planning for the arrival, is the performance of the aircraft as we go in. Let's just probably just switch the charts off for a minute. There we go. Yeah, so performance wise, let's get zoomed in. This, you can set the flaps and the speed of your arrival. So I think we're going to go 40 because of the conditions in Edinburgh. We're going to go with a 40-degree flap, 140 knots. So click the button next to that. It pops it in the scratch pad. So 40 degrees, 140 knots. Then you put it into there. You don't need to execute that. That's it. That's in now. But what has happened now is if you go up to the PFD. Can I get a bit closer in than that, please? No? Oh, God. Keyboard shortcuts. Right. Anyway, as you can see, that's given us a reference in there. 40-degree flaps, 140 knots. So when we're coming in and we're focused on the PFD, we've got all the information we need right in front of our eyes. So that's important to put that in. Back to the FMC. So, yes, so our gross landing weight here. I need to go and get that back from my sim brief. So let's go back to sim brief. Sim brief. Oh yeah, there you go. FP. So our estimated landing weight is 63.1 tons. So we're at 64. So let's put in 63.1. Again, this is all helping the plane calculate everything it needs to calculate. So yes, I should have done that first. That's now changed our approach speed to 139 knots. So we shall put that in. Here we go. And this also gives you the information, and it's worth double checking this, of the ILS for Edinburgh on the runway we've plumbed in, which is 06. So if we go, I'll put the charts back up as well. So again, so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's go back here. Charts, please. Here we go. So yes, so what we're looking for here is the ILS frequency, which we've got 108.9, which is, again, yeah, that's correct. That's what's in the FMC. Yeah, we've got 61 degrees. Let's say 60 degrees on the chart. So we're okay with that. So we can put that in now. We can wait a little bit. Like if you've got some other VORs tuned in, then you probably don't need to do the ILS just yet. We're still quite a way. We're still 104 nautical miles till top of descent, 200 nautical miles till we arrive. So yeah, we're a bit early to tune in the ILS, in all honesty. So we'll wait for that one. We'll come back to the ILS. But again, this is all putting the information in on the primary flight display that we need. That the ILS and the approach will appear here, the top left of the PFD. We could put the minimums in now. That won't hurt. So again, if we go back to the charts, we're going to be doing the 2 ILS. So again, at the top of the chart, it gives you the frequency, the approach. It says refer to minimums for Cat 3. So what we're looking at, so we'll do, you can do either rad out or barrow. Let's go rad out 98 on the Cat 2 ILS. So we come up here, we flip the switch over to radio on the outer dial, and we've got 98. But that will just give us the minimums call out. That's the minimum decision height before you can decide, you know, if you need to go round or the landing conditions aren't perfect. So There we go. So that's our minimums in. So you can see it's starting to fill up a little bit now. We can also put in the QNH, which we did earlier, into the descent mode. So again, we can come over here and we'll double check again, see if it's changed at all. So 1021. So we can put that into standby mode just by tuning that in here. So we want 1021. Then when we flip off standard mode, it'll automatically settle on 1021 on the barometer, and you'll see that the altitude change. It'll probably drop quite significantly. So let me just go back to, let's just double check on the descent mode. What did we put in for the forecast? Yeah, that's fine. That's still the same, 1021 on the QNH. So that matches what we've got here on the left. All good. Still got lovely fluffy clouds outside the window. Get rid of the charts for a second so you can actually see what I'm looking at. Look at that. Right. The captain wants a beer, so let's give them a double bong. See if they'll bring me one. Be right back. Okay, I have a beer. Saturday night. Okay. So one thing I've just realised I didn't do when I was setting up the minimums and all that kind of stuff. Let's pop the chart back on again quickly. At the top of the chart here tells you the airport and runway elevation. So we're looking at 110 for the runway, 136 for the airport. So up in the overhead panel we need to set that in on the landing altitude, and it only goes up in units of 50. So the closest we can get is, let's go 150. So that'll just rejig everything that it needs to rejig to make sure that we're getting accurate info on the flight directors and all that kind of stuff. So it's that set. How are we doing? It is now, well, that was a little ahead of time on the setup. We're 69 miles to top of descent. So back on the legs. Yeah, so we're making good progress considering we're in such a strong headwind. We're making good progress. Goodness. Anybody want cauliflower for dinner? Stick with steak. little musical interlude for you. That's not what I was after. We still... Oh. Wow. Don't like that, do we? Was enjoying that then. Bloody game. Okay. Let's have a quick recap of where we are. So we are 38 miles top of descent, 136 miles to arrival. Pretty much set up. We haven't tuned the ILS yet, so we could do that shortly. Minute ref the arrival 40, the rad out barometer, QNH. was artistic, wasn't it? Enjoyed that. We'll bring the Edinburgh round to match that turn. What are we on? We're on 223. Oop. Yeah, most enjoyable that was. Yeah, so we've got approximately 25 minutes flight time till we land. This crosswind is so this will be an interesting little experiment, because you can, if we go into heading mode here, see the wind will blow us off course. So this will explain the difference between heading and course. So heading is the direction in which the nose of the plane is pointing. So the nose of the plane is pointing at 223 degrees, but you can see on our track the wind is blowing us off course to 218. So if I illustrate that by getting in the back of the from behind the plane, it's like when a racehorse runs, kind of goes sideways. That's kind of what our plane is doing right now. It's fighting the wind. So to compensate for that, where would it go? Huh? It won't let me back in the plane. Weird. It wouldn't let me back inside. I was panicking then a bit, to be honest. I was only trying to explain something. So basically, yeah, if we want to be heading on a 223 degree, which we do, we need to allow for the compensation of the wind blowing us across here, 73 knots. So we turn the heading bug that way, so we're actually overcompensating the wind. So if we had it set on, I don't know, 233, see what that does to the track. So we're just coming round now. So we want to be at 223, don't we? So yeah, that's about right. So basically, the crosswind of 72 knots is it's got a bit too far. It's blowing us about 10 degrees off course. We'll try 232. Well, yeah, we want to be on a 223. I mean, obviously, when you're in autopilot, the plane takes care of all this all by itself. It's absolutely genius. So it'll know to switch to 231 degrees if it needs. Let's call it 230. It needs to be on a track of 223. It'll automatically configure itself to 230 on the heading. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's basically how that works. But we'll go back to LNAV. It'll work that out all by itself. You know, it's coming back to the course. So yeah, that's kind of the difference between course and heading, basically, in layman's terms, as I understand it. Comment below if I'm wrong. We can see now the top of descent marker, only, what, 7 nautical miles away. So I will put our first altitude that we need to hit, which is flight level 260. Let's drop that down in the window. Oh, way too far. That's the one thing I hate about it. It's probably quite handy for you lot to see on YouTube what I'm pressing, but it's as an immersion killer, as we've talked about immersion already. I hate the way these glow up blue, but I've kind of just thought about it. For you guys watching, it's quite handy to see what I'm adjusting, I suppose, maybe. But in the plane, all these little switches glow up blue. I hate it. You used to be able to change that, but you can't anymore. So we're just, I believe, coming in above Newcastle. Just hitting the coast now. It's, yeah. And that So we are just above Newcastle right now, if you could actually see it. And we are descending nicely. So yeah, we need to hit AgPed by flight level 260. And that's what the green banana has shown us. The plane thinks it can manage it, so we don't need to intervene with any speed brake or flaps or any kind of drag. What I will do is arm the speed brake. Always have that armed on the descent, just in case you need to use a bit of it. But yeah, I'm happy with the way the plane's handling that. Bring that around. Edinburgh back round again. Want to be 301 on the heading. Okay, so now's a good time to tune in the ILS, I think. So, get that on screen for you again. So it's 108.9. We'll tune both sides in as well. 108.9 there. 108.9 there. We've made it down nicely, so we'll put 7,000 in now. The plane is so good. It's quite predictable, which is always helpful. You just need to stay ahead of everything you're doing. Steep descent after Haven, yeah, it's fine. So yeah, we've got the ILS tuned to 108.9, which is what we are on here, and we want 60 degrees on the course. Oop. So we'll flip that round to 60. Do it both sides, because if you keep both sides tuned in, it gives you an option to, if weather's not good or there's a crazy wind, you've always got the option to auto land. I don't like auto landing because it's boring. I like to do something, so what I'm hoping we'll do here is turn off the auto thrust and the autopilot around about 1100, 1000 feet, something like that, and we'll fly it in manually. It's more fun. Having said that, Edinburgh is quite prone to some crazy crosswinds, so we'll see how we go. So you can see now on the PFD, we've got our ILS tuned in, and also the course 60 degrees. What we're also looking out for, once it's tuned in on the, we're looking out for the 3-letter identifier code, which is India Victor G. Yatma? Yeah. Let's just, I think we're done with the charts for a moment. We could brief the go round as well. So if we miss the approach, we basically need to plumb in 3,000 feet, climb straight ahead, then as directed. So yeah, once we're coming in, we can do that. can see some land. Nearly home. I'm hoping the cloud's going to lift when we're flying over the Highlands into Edinburgh, because it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. It's not looking promising, is it? That's where we are now. Also, I always like to have my left hand FMC with my legs and my, you know, speeds, altitude, all that kind of stuff, and I always have the right hand one with progress, so it gives you a time, an arrival time. It tells you what fuel you should be on as well, so I just find that helpful. I know that my reserves are 3.0, so we're way above that. We're going to land with 3.3, so that's good. Still landing at 11:19 Zulu, which is 15 minutes. We're doing well. Oh my god, look at this. Sometimes this is more spectacular than the scenery, to be fair, but it would be nice to see something out that window, wouldn't it? So what I'm looking out for now is we've got a decent rate of descent. Don't need to intervene just yet. We can use vertical speed mode if we're a bit high, but we're looking pretty good. We need to be at flight level 1200-ish by Haven. It's going to do that easily. See the thrust go idling. That's good. So what I'm looking out for now, basically, when we're through 10,000 feet, we're gonna pop the landing lights on, sit the kids down in the back, just get ourselves ready for final approach. So ATC will start chirping up soon. Actually, they've been quiet, haven't they? Have I missed something? No, we're good. No, we're good. I think we will kill the music for now, just so we can hear the engines do what they're doing. We're coming into land, so we don't need music, do we? I'll just turn the heading bug round to 344. Ready? It thinks again the green banana's in. It's happy we're going to meet our constraint of flight level 70 by Tartan as we come round. That's looking good. Basically, yeah, at this point during the descent, your eyes are fixed on your your primary flight display and your nav. Looking out the window at pretty views, although that is, look at that. Holy crap. It's insane. That's what's brilliant about this simulator. Every time you fly, it's different. I've flown across here and it's like clear as a bell, and it's like, wow, that's amazing. But this is equally so. Fantastic. Right, concentrate. Concentrate. It's telling me there's drag required if you look at the FMC, but it does say that. Sometimes it's a bit OTT when it says drag required. So we're just about coming through 10,000 feet now. So landing lights on, runway lights on, continuous on the engine start selectors, and the kids in the back now need to sit down. Where are they? There they are. Fasten seat belts. Oh, sit down. I am going to pop a bit of speed brake out just for a second. Oh, there we go.
Going to 121.205 KLM 1124. Edinburgh approach KLM 1124 9,800 feet.
Yeah.
KLM 1124 Edinburgh approach QNH tree 0.14 continue as planned.
Just need to get a bit of speed off here. And we do need to lose some altitude as well, so let's use a bit of vertical speed mode. Let's get that down where it needs to be. I'll probably go quite quiet from now on. Give ourselves a bit more thinking time. Go back to VNAV mode. Going to start getting some flaps down shortly. So we're under 250 knots. We can go flaps 1. Just about. Still telling me drag required, but that's cool. We're okay. We're okay. Got a nice headwind. That should help us slow down quite nicely as well. Let's clear that message it's still made in. Also, if you need to get some serious drag on, putting the landing gear down helps a ton. Really does. Okay, so we've got a decent speed now. Go flaps 5. Gonna drop through the cloud canopy. Look at those clouds there. Wow. That's incredible. Look at that. Right, concentration. Right, okay, we're back to standard pressure off. There we go, we drop considerably when we flip to correct QNH. Go flaps 10. Okay, I'm now in control of the speed here. Speed intervention. Let's get it down a bit. A good way of working it out is keep the pink square around the flap mark that you're on. So I've got 170 in the window. It's telling me flaps 10. That's going to come down nicely to that. So if we went flaps 15, for example, now tells me I need to get the speed down to about 160. And I've forgotten to put the landing gear out. That's embarrassing. Again, that'll help with drag. When we come around, I mean, we've got quite a tight right-hand turn coming up. When we come around, I'll put the approach mode on. Let's set the landing auto brakes to 2. Reset that. Sorry about that. That was my bad. Well annoying. Clear that. Bring the speed down a bit more. I mean, the weather looks shocking in Edinburgh, doesn't it, eh? Welcome to Scotland, guys. Jeez. We're going to hit the right altitude. That's not a problem. Actually trying to speed up now, so I like to be prepared. That was 24. So we're looking for flaps 40 at 139 knots. So we're ahead of the curve really. We're going a bit slowly. Nice weather up there. We've got all the headings and courses lined up. Altitude 4,000. Oh, blue sky. That. Woohoo! Beautiful. Let's get ourselves slowed down. Final turn. Flaps 40. We're gonna have a hell of a tailwind coming into land. Actually, not too. It's 15 knots. It's not too bad. At least it's directly behind us. It shouldn't blow us off course too much. Hopefully. We're about to do our right turn to final approach. I will put approach mode on. There's some land. Lovely. Seen any of that for a while. Okay, so we're on final now. We've captured the ILS. Just about. Speed down to where we need to be. Our full flaps. Gears down. We're in a good place. We're in a good place. Still can't see the runway, but we're in a good place. Still no runway. Slight crosswind now, 12 knots. I'm going to pop the CMDB on as well, just in case we need to form an auto land. We know it's in auto land mode when the glide slope relates. It will say flare underneath it, but it won't do that till about, I think it's about 1500 feet. We'll go into flare mode, but here we go. I can see some land. We don't want to use that. We want to land it. Got the IVG signifier. So it's all set up. £50 for the first person who can spot the runway. I'm not going to disengage anything until I can see a runway. And it's now raining as well. I mean, this is your typical Scottish weather. Absolutely lovely. So it's giving me 1,000 feet. Remember, we put 150 in, so it's about right. There is no runway. There is no runway. Oh, I think I can see a runway. Yep, I see a runway. My controls. More of a headwind right now. I mean, this is awful. Oh yeah, getting that gust there. Trying to keep the magenta diamonds where the flight director's telling me. This is abysmal, isn't it? Full reverse. Auto brakes on, nice. Manual brakes. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Considering the conditions, that was not too bad. Welcome to Edinburgh. Welcome to Edinburgh, guys. Look at this. I think we're going to exit at this one. Flaps off. Speed brake off. Oh, he's had enough. It's not going to be the best conditions to showcase the Pyreeg scenery, but it's really good. You'll have to take my word for it. It's really good. We'll just wait here for a second and see if we can get a stand. What it'll probably do is landing lights off, runway turn out lights off, taxi lights on, APU on. Off. And let's try and get a stand.
Edinburgh ground KLM 1124 taxi to the gate.
KLM 1124 taxi to gate Alpha 10 using taxiway Charlie Alpha Foxtrot.
Okay, Alpha 10 it said. Let's see if I can find a parking stand.
KLM 1124, please acknowledge.
Taxiing to gate Alpha 10 via taxiway Charlie Alpha Foxtrot KLM 1124.
For Charlie Foxtrot. Can switch over to the APU now. Look at that. The APU bleed on. Backs off. Oops. Oh. fuel truck doing? We're looking out for our stand. The 7 there. Emirates. This is us here. No. Yeah, this is us. Nice. He was hard to spot, wasn't he? Got high vis on, but he was difficult to spot. I see you. I see you. Pressure's on. Parking brake on. Lovely. Woo! Well, there we go, guys. We are in. It's over on the AQ already, so we can switch the engines off. We'll get the chocks on. Have some chocks. We'll have some ground power. See what we're also going to have. We'll get the jetway going, shall we? Yeah, we'll have a jetway. And this is pretty cool. We got spawned into the terminal. Weatherspoons. It's Friday. It is Friday. I mean, it's got all they've got is whiskey. Where's the beer? I mean, it is Edinburgh, isn't it? So to be expected. Okay, so we'll go back out to the plane. Here we are. Sunny Edinburgh. Absolutely beautiful. We will have a quick look round the airport in a sec. I'm just going to finish shutting the plane down. Just so you can have a look at the Pyrig scenery. It is second to none. I will say that now. So, engines are off. So, switch over to ground power. You off. Taxi lights off. Collision off. Fuel pumps off. Or damper off. Hydraulics off. Probes off. Window heats off. Emergency exit lights off. And that is pretty much the plane shut down. We could even switch these off. If you really wanted to know how you get it back to the cold and dark state, we'll go back down to the FMC. We'll disconnect the ground power. Yep, that's cool. And then battery. Boom. As you can see, you can just hear the pitter-patter of the Scottish rain on the KLM fuselage. Oh, you idiot. What are you doing? Oh. How to ruin the the most immersive taxi and shutdown I've ever done. This idiot. I don't know what to say. Okay, we'll ignore that. We'll have a quick look around at the scenery because it is, as I said, pretty spectacular. There's a few statics which I don't mind until they try and park you on a stand with a static, but it's really nice. It's really nicely done. All these jetways are animated. Control tower is something else as well. Look at that. The LEDs on that. Beautiful. EasyJet on stand 1. Let's have a little look from the control tower. I mean, look at this. Honestly, I can't recommend the Pyrig Devco scenery enough. It is so good. I've got the East Midlands one as well. I really like that one because I'm a graphic designer as trade. We do a bit of signage and stuff. All our signage that we do for TUI at their training centre at East Midlands is in the game. So that makes me happy. That makes me happy. I mean, that he could have parked anywhere. I despair. Got some hotels. I mean, it looks pretty good now because it's kind of lit up, but it looks really nice on a nice sunny day. You've got the Moxie Hotel here. If you look at that in the hotel windows as well, got a bit of a 3D effect as you go past the windows. How cool is that? It's really good. On the Hampton by Hilton, got a Spitfire out front, all fully modelled. Again, these rooms are 3D. So smart. It's these details like this. Look at the reflections on the wing in the rain that make Pyrig on another level. To be fair, the sceneries aren't cheap, and even the crap ones aren't cheap. So it's important to sift your way through the crap and get to something good. Look at this. Look at this tower. I mean, that's a screenshot. I would do a screenshot. Fortunately, my plane has been decimated by somebody. But even down to like the signage, cars in the car park. Absolutely brilliant. And I mean, if you loaded it into Edinburgh without, with the standard scenery, there we go. Welcome to Edinburgh. Fantastic. It makes a big difference, in my opinion. Oh, he's going to park. He's parking his on the static. That's not his fault. We can't see that. Mind you, this chap here has probably not got multiplayer on, so... Oh, he's gone. Oh, good. So, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I really enjoyed myself. I would rather do nothing else than sim on a Saturday night. So, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the flight, and I will catch you in the next stream. Take care. Bye-bye.